What's going on, you guys? My name's Ty Knots, and welcome to Top 5 Unknowns, 5 true scary stories from Reddit. Number 5. So this happened to me in Maine when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I was at the beach with my mom. We went as a group with some other stay-at-home moms and their kids. It was a fairly hot and crowded day there, and I found myself playing with the other kids at the edge of the water. For some reason, I strayed away a bit, and that's when a middle-aged woman started talking to me. I remember very clearly she looked like a mother would, with a one-piece black swimming suit, cargo shorts, sunglasses, and her hair pulled up in a bun. She asked me what games I liked to play and what my favorite candy was. As soon as I told her what it was, she told me she had some in her car and persuaded me to come with her. Now, I know that I was quite a naive child, but she was cheerful and enthusiastic and took my hand and led me through the crowded beach. I skipped alongside her and had no fear whatsoever. Then, thank my lucky stars, my mom spotted me from a distance away and started screaming my name at the top of her lungs and jumping up and down, waving her arms. The woman immediately let go of my hand and darted away. I just stood there, terribly confused, until my mom got me. I still get chills thinking about it now. She seemed so nice at the time, though I admit I was far too trusting. The whole situation just stinks of an attempted kidnapping now. If my mom hadn't spotted me, who knows where I would be, or if I would still even be alive. Number 4. Before Uber was around, I had to take a cab from the city to my mom's house, about 20 to 25 minutes away. Cab drivers are honestly some of the creepiest people I've ever encountered, but this one took the cake. This happened about a year or so ago, so it may be a bit fuzzy on the details, but I'll tell you what I remember. So the driver picked me up and told me I could sit in the front seat. I was young and naive, so I said okay. To give you an idea of what this fella looked like, he was extremely overweight, sweaty, and a neckbeard type. He had a giant boil on his right ear, smelled like sweat and cigarettes, and was just generally gross. He started chatting with me about random stuff, then brought up opiates. He began listing various pills and how much he could get them for, but he'd give me a discount because I'm cute. The whole time he was talking, I didn't really respond, but just kept saying uh-huh to everything. Meanwhile, he was swerving all over the road as if he were drunk. We had to drive over a large river, and he ran us nearly off the bridge. At this point, I was extremely freaked out and started planning how and where I could get him to drop me off, so that it would still be within a reasonable walking distance to my mom's house. I got him to pull over, and he turned to me and said, "A few weeks ago, I was giving a cute girl a ride when I asked her where she was going. She said she was just bored and wanted to drive around. We hung out all day, and she helped me with my paperwork. I can make this ride free for you if you wanted to do something like that." I promptly told him no, paid him, and hurried off, so creepy cab guy, let's not meet again. Number 3. This happened about 3 years ago, and it's made me very paranoid almost all the time now. I was in this supermarket near my house, which is on a main road, and my mom told me to get a box of tissues, so I did. When I was in the aisle, some random old lady that I'd never seen before started screaming obscenities at me and chasing me. She was screaming things like, "You dog," and "Get back here." So naturally, as a short, fat 13-year-old girl, I was scared out of my mind. I was crying when I got to my mom and told her what had happened, and then she spotted our neighbor leaving the store and asked her to drive me home. According to my mom, she then went up to the lady and asked about it, and she just yelled and gave up. But this is when it gets really creepy. I then woke up to the sound of footsteps outside my window later on that day. I then heard a hit against our metal fence and heard someone climbing over it. I was already scared enough, but when I went to try to wake my mom up, I couldn't, so I looked out the window which faced the driveway. Outside, I saw a man that looked about 30 getting into a car with the same lady from earlier. Thankfully, I don't live there anymore, and after my mom woke up, I was too afraid to tell her about it. After that, occasionally I would see this lady's car parked outside near the driveway. So, creepy lady that used to live at my old house, let's not meet again. Number 2. Years ago, my mom told me about something that happened to her in college, and to this day, it's still one of the most horrifying things I can imagine waking up to. She still uses it to remind me to always be vigilant and lock my dorm room. So, when my mom attended college, she lived in a regular student dorm. And back then, security was much more basic than it is nowadays. She had a roommate that would often come home super late and drunk and high and forget to lock their door. It always drove my mom crazy. It's one of those nights where her roomie came home drunk and passed out, forgetting to lock their door yet again. My mom was fast asleep when some ninja instinct deep inside of her soul woke her up. She didn't move, but knew that something felt weird, like she was being watched, and she somehow sensed a presence nearby. Opening her eyes, she saw a shadowy figure of a man standing at the foot of the bed, watching her. There was something in his hand that looked like a knife, but she couldn't really be sure. My mom then sat straight up, and the man dashed out of their room just as my mom started screaming at her roommate to wake up. Terrified, they phoned the police, who came in to investigate to see what they could find. They locked the door, and my mom slept with a knife under her pillow. Because of this, she's always checking in with me to make sure I locked my door at night. My mom says that she's thankful that the guy fled as soon as she woke up rather than attacking her. Number 1.